Do you know what to do when things don't go as according to plan? When things fall apart, what do you do? Well, today's story, it teaches us about resilience, the beauty of being present, and the importance of faith and trust in the face of unexpected challenges. And we all have them, lots of them. And do you throw your hat in the ring, throw your skirt up in the air, or do you actually do what I'm going to share with you about the incredible power that is within us, the power to pivot and transform tears into triumphs? Stick with me here because I've got a riveting real life story of facing disappointment and turning it into a magical adventure. Hang in here, listen to this episode. Hey there, I'm Katie Joy, a spiritual coach, energy healer, and manifesting mentor. And I'm really excited to inspire and share with some ideas and insights of how to manifest your ideal goals in life and the way that you want to experience it. So I'm going to share with you a very powerful story today, which is really going to highlight the power of pivoting into new possibility when things turn upside down. And they do regularly, right? Have you ever noticed, especially that when you actually set a goal, quite often something gets in the way or it doesn't turn out as to plan? Yep. If you have, let me know down below. But I also want to just share with you a very specific story to inspire you to move forward with a much broader perspective in possibilities and what to create so that you can let go of disappointment and shift into feeling triumphant with your experience. So this story begins, it's actually from a few holidays ago, a couple of months back on one of the school holidays. And prior to that, about 6 weeks before, I had set up an intention to take my son on a little getaway for 4 or 5 days, 3 to 5 days. And I had looked around, I had seen a glamping tent that got my eye, but I thought, I'll park that because it might not be quite what he wants. Plus, it was really highlighting it was an adults only adventure. So I put that on the bucket list. But then what came up was this opportunity to go to a farm stay. And I booked it, was all packing up ready in advance. It was the middle of the school holidays. And the morning of packing, I had this intuition to pack extra food because even though it was a room to stay in the farm stay with all food included, I kind of got this little nudge to pack food and snacks, your preferences. So I did. I went to that effort, organized myself that way. And in the last minute too, before I jumped in the car, I get this little intuition, take your little camping table and your camping chair. I thought, well, that would be useful. So I popped that into the car too. And we're so excited. We're heading on our journey. It's about an hour or so away. And as we get there, I'm just thinking to myself, this is eerily quiet. This isn't exactly where I was expecting more of a buzz and more people. And it was very quiet. You could hear the crickets. So when I rocked in to the driveway and I connected with there was people in the farm stay house. And what had happened is that there was a notification that had gone out just a few days before to cancel the event. But I didn't get the notice. I was so busy wrapping up with my clients in my group training program with the Awakened Soul program. And I was really, really busy just anticipating the adventure. I had no expectation it could possibly be cancelled. And my son was with me as he was listening to this, and I could see his face start to crumple, and he was really holding back a whimper. It's giving me goosebumps. And some of you have been following my journey for many years. I'm just going to segue a little bit to give you a bit of insight of what happened next. So many years ago, I actually went on a wonderful journey, kind of like an expedition to Antarctica with a group of amazing adventurers like myself. We love to adventure. And we were investors and business owners. And so when we were actually out in Antarctica proper and we were touring on the Russian icebreaker, you would hear several times throughout the days, the ice cracking. And quite often what you'd hear and see whole ice balls crack and shear away and crash into the ocean, creating this waves, but also it was the sound. It was eerie. Well, I had that flash up in my face as soon as I watched my poor little son's face start to crumple. He was holding back his tears. And as he started to realize that his holiday, his adventure at the farm stay was about to just crash. And it wasn't long before that whimper turned into a wail. I'm really upset. And my heart was just, oh gosh, what am I going to do? We're in the middle of the school holidays. Where am I going to book right now that everything's, busy and booked? I already preempted these limitations in myself, and then went, whoa, hold up. I am going to create something. I don't know what yet. We've got a car full of food. We've got a little bit of minimal camping equipment. I'm going to figure something out. So I, thanked the lady that I was speaking to, who wasn't the person in charge, but had contacted the person in charge, who called me. And I'm sitting in the driveway of this place still. I've decided to tell my son, listen, put a check, hold on to those emotions of disappointment. We're going to turn this into something magical. I don't know what it is yet, but we're going to figure it out. Will you trust me? We'll go into the town centre. We'll go to the toilet, take a rest break. I'll get you an ice cream, and we'll just trust that something is going to happen. I promise you, we're going to have an adventure. Now, we're in the car. We're just driving off out of the driveway into the town centre, 10 minutes away. And I didn't know what the answer was yet, but I had faith and I had trust. And I get a phone call from the lady who had organised the event, and deeply apologetic. Some big crisis drama had shown up and she had to go deal with it, and had cancelled the event. And she offered to refund me the money, which she was anticipating doing anyway. I just hadn't responded to her email. And she also generously offered me extra money for fuel, which she just told me she was going to do. And so I was just, wow, thank you. Okay, well, that is useful. And I'm going to figure out what I'm going to do next. And so when we're in the town centre, on the way to the town centre, I get this little flash, this image of the glamping tent that I had looked into about 6 weeks prior. And so I made a phone call while we were sitting down having ice cream. I made a phone call to the seaside glamping place. And I told them the predicament. I told them our story. And I said, is there any possibility that we could come and stay in a glamping tent? And she said, well, it's normally reserved for adults only, but let me check with the manager. And it took 40 minutes, but 40 minutes later, we get a phone call saying, all good to go. And when she told me the price, here was the interesting thing. The money refunded back from the farm stay, plus the fuel money, that the additional generosity of the lady who granted me that, covered the exact amount for the 3 days in the glamping tent. And I was having a good little giggle with that. And we were excited and ready to move forward. And I was just thinking to myself, you can't make this up. This is the synchronicity. This is the joy in the moment. This is what became possible. If I'd tried to book that glamping tent like 6 weeks prior, I might have very likely have been given a no, not available. But even though we had to go a bit of a longer route to get there, I was prepared with the food for the stay. I was prepared with the extra table and the camping chair to put outside the glamping tent. And we had everything else provided. And not only that, more magical than that, my son received an incredible learning and emotional mastery that day, in some resilience around, being able to stay present in the moment so that you can pivot into a new place of possibility rather than, give up and go home. I don't know about you, but a lot of my clients, my earlier clients, when they come in and I share this story, a lot of them say, my God, I would have just packed up and gone home, or maybe pointed the finger and blamed, or they should have done this. But none of that is useful, is it? What would have you done in that situation? And have you had a situation that maybe you cut yourself short from a new possibility? Or Have you had a situation where you did stay present and something else magical opened up for you? I want to encourage you to make sure that you stay in that place of what else is possible. And when things don't turn out our way, that we pivot. We choose to stay present in the moment so that we can stay calm in the middle of a crisis and turn it into something magical. So there's more to the story. So when I went off, it took us a couple of hours to get to the new destination. And it was just wonderful. Even though we weren't fully prepared for the seaside because we were more focused on the farm stay, at that point, I would have taken more swimming gear and, our kayaks and our paddleboard and things like that. But we didn't really need it because it wasn't particularly warm anyway, and not at that point in time. But here's what else was cool. There were a couple of extra goodies that came out of that. When we were there, one of the chalets, I was inspired looking at the chalets and thinking, I wonder if that's available for Christmas. And I went to the head office and the lady said to me, basically, let's just put it in nice words, but she basically said, fat chance. It ain't going to happen. And she says, they're normally booked well and truly a year in advance and they're sold out years upon years because people reserve them. And I just had this intuition to just stand there politely as an indication of please check. I wasn't just going to accept it and walk away. There was just a knowing. And she looked down into the schedule and she goes, well, I'll be blown, basically. She said, it's open for 3 days. And she was aware of the situation of booking us into the glamping tent as well. So it was at this point that she said, you need to go buy yourself a lotto ticket. And I said, I don't need to buy a lotto ticket. I manifest and create magic everywhere I go. Haven't you figured that out? She says, clearly. So we booked that one for Christmas and had a wonderful holiday there for the Christmas as well. Now, there's more to this story because while I was there, I had this wonderful synchronistic moment running into a beautiful, beautiful woman who was there with her children too in the playground. And we connected and had this deep connection. She started following me on Facebook and I invited her to one of my online programs, my challenges. And as a result of that, her mum wanted to connect. And as a result of that, both of them became amazing clients and really moving forward to help them both transform their lives. That wasn't any extra expectation or anything there. It was just one of those synchronistic magical meetings and moments. And it was during that period in that space that I had clarity for a business project as well that helped me move forward. So there is so much wonder and awe and magic available to us when we stay in the field of possibility. What else is possible versus trying to control or get upset when things don't turn out when they meet our expectations. And there's just so much generosity and abundance and enlightenment available in this experience. What did you take away from this? Was there something here that just lit you up or inspired you for your own life? Is there something that you want to comment on? If you would love to hear more of these stories and future episodes which help to inspire you and ignite your awareness into a high level of consciousness to create your magical best year yet, then make sure you hit subscribe, hit like, and also comment down below. What did you love about this? Maybe share this episode with somebody that it would be really useful too. Plus, let me just let you know about a free gift that if you haven't already got it, maybe you've landed on this YouTube channel or this episode and you're not, you haven't yet received the beautiful 33-page workbook, which is setting your intentions, create clarity for your goals to create your best year yet. And that is available for free, no cost. It's available for you. The link's down below. I'll pop the link up here. Make sure you go get your copy and then follow the episode connected with that. That will guide you through answering your key questions in the framework to help you create your best year yet. Much love, light, manifesting miracles, magic, and more. And I'll